Okay. Good morning, honeybees. Happy Sunday. Happy full moon. So help me God, I will get these words out the correct way this time. I want to talk about engaging with materials on purpose, and how engaging with materials does not just mean learning and asking questions from books, from videos, from PDFs, whatever, although that's absolutely a part of it, but intentionally engaging in a comprehension-minded way with your life, with you as a person, with your own reactions to things, why you react, how you react, when you react, and what you're feeling. To having these kind of comprehension questions around the people that you see and what they say and what you encounter. Now, I want to emphasize a piece of importance here, because I used to spend a lot of my time studying people even when I was in unhealthy places, and I think that was partially a trauma response. You do not need to stay in unhealthy places, relationships, or scenarios to learn. Sometimes the lesson is to get the fuck out. Sometimes the lesson is to leave, it's to go, it's to pack your bags and choose yourself. Sometimes the lesson is, no thank you. So, I wanna say that clearly. Sometimes the lesson is to move. That said, sorry, I've done this so many times that I keep quitting the video when it gets this much imperfect. So, yes, be learning from the spaces where you are in. Please don't keep yourself in unhealthy or unsafe or detrimental spaces to do this. Again, sometimes the lesson is to leave. Sometimes the lesson is to recognize what is an unhealthy pattern or what is something that you don't want to grow into, and then say, okay, I'm learning from this. But I digress. Learning from yourself, engaging with the material. You are the material in your life, and so is everything else. So understanding your motivations, or kind of being curious and compassionate about what others' motivations are, how they came to be, how they are, seeking that understanding of the human condition, those are all things that can honestly help you. And the reason I say that is because it helps you have a genuinely better, more open, intentionally understanding, comprehending view of the world around you. You are not a monolith. You are not an island. You are not just a total piece separate from the world. You are yourself. You are wholly you. But you is not separate from everything. As a matter of fact, you exist in the context of a lot of things. A lot of pieces of you would not even come to be without the other things around you. And that's okay, even though that's something I struggle with. That's okay. Anyway, so studying yourself and the things around you is part of engaging on purpose with material and having a wider view of others, having a more understanding view of others. Now, this can lead to you having a more both compassionate view of yourself, and have you seeing yourself as more capable, or seeing yourself as okay, I could really do these other things, right? But also, especially if you're in spaces working with deities, with mysteries, with Loa perhaps, or Orisha, you can understand your spirits, the spirits in your life and your lineage and your practice a lot more by understanding other humans. The reason I say this is because, especially in certain spaces, our understanding of spirits is because they were the first person to do something, or the first ancestor to do something, or, this kind of hot-tempered energy can exist in humans, or, whatever it is. But seeking to understand and engage with other people, and also with nature. Have you sat in meditation with a flower? Have you spent time with a mulberry tree over various seasons? Have you spent time with the same river, or rivers in the same region, the same watershed area? Developing relationships and seeing how they move through cycles. These are things that genuinely give you better understanding of people, of deities, of spiritual concepts. That kind of engaging with the material on purpose is where you get a better understanding. And you would think that that's kind of like a 1 + 1 = 2 scenario, but there's a lot of spaces where people want information digested for them, and I'm not even saying that to be shitty. There are spaces where people have been taught time and again that information is digested for you. And if you're coming, especially from a kind of Christian background, or I'm obviously American, from America, from a very Western American Christian background, whether or not it's something I've chosen. Even growing up with a lot of other practices around me, thank God, that is the kind of mindset that I've inherited, because that's the mindset that my family practiced. These are the mindsets that my great-grandparents had. So when you're coming from a background of, okay, actually, you are less powerful and something else knows better, and between you and the something else that knows better is 10 other steps that know better, right? You are not going to always feel comfortable engaging with material for yourself. You're not always going to feel comfortable asking questions for yourself. but that's something that you have to get comfortable with. So part of growing in spirituality, part of growing in personhood and selfhood, part of growing in your sovereignty is getting comfortable with being uncomfortable when you are taking your power back. And that is also why we actively engage with the materials. Because if you are actively engaging with the materials, people cannot pull the wool over your eyes so easily, right? Now, to take a note back to Christianity, Jesus was not asking people to not have will. They weren't even asking people to choose them as their savior. Jesus said, you can do what I do. I'm my Father's child, and you're my Father's child. So you can do what I do. Miracle working is for everyone if you choose it. I digress. I also have a vocation in that direction, and it stresses me out. I digress. Choosing to engage with information on purpose, choosing to engage with things that challenge your thoughts, that have you actually working with reasoning, building your understanding, kind of branching out, that is important. Now I will do the tiniest plug of my own book, because I just released this. It is a beginner devotional, beginner prayer guide. But the reason I want to share it today, and I'm really, really excited for the hardcover to come out. The hardcover comes out July 26th now. I did update that release date when I fixed a couple typos, but the paperback it is what it is at this point. But in the back, we have some recommended reading here. And I mentioned a variety of books. Some of them are right here in this stack because I'm not going to recommend stuff to you guys that I am not working with or have not worked with myself. But other ones are not. So what I don't have in this stack currently is either in another room or is an ebook. That said, these books do not all hold the same opinion. One, this book is great, okay? This is one of the first places that I learned that the funerary industry, especially in the US, is stemming from the Civil War. That's fascinating. We're learning about death rates. We're learning about good death. This is key. That should be challenging some of your understandings and opinions about money, about end-of-life care, about what is sacred, about how our bodies decompose, all these kind of cool things. Looking for Mary. This is actually my mom's book that I never gave back. It's a permanent borrow. I'm so sorry, Mom. It's a permanent borrow. I've read it a billion times. Looking for Mary, The Blessed Mother and Me by Beverly D'Onofrio. She's an author of some other stuff too that I haven't read. That's okay. I love this book. Look at that. I literally have like little stuff like tucked into it still. And I love this book, yes, because it helped me be closer to the mother, but it helped me be closer to myself. I had a lot of spaces where I came to see myself better, and I also came to see my mom better. I was looking differently at people in my life that I have encountered and, being able to encounter them in new ways. So when we are intentionally engaging with material, we are also giving ourselves and the people in our lives the gift of new sight, because not only am I seeing differently, but I am seeing someone else differently and being received in a new way, being received by somebody that you care about in a way that allows for compassion and curiosity and a little bit of understanding gives you new light. There are spaces where I really think grace has saved my life, right? So being able to see somebody with fresh eyes is a blessing for you and for them. Now we're getting into miracle work. Now we're getting into burden lifting, and not in a way that causes you to carry the burden, but in a way that you, simply through love, curiosity, and engagement with the material on purpose, can dissolve some spaces of burden, can dissolve some spaces of shame, can dissolve spaces of isolation, can dissolve those spaces of, I can't be seen or I'm unforgivable, okay? Now, if you want to be healing some spaces from leaving the church or being in the church, whatever it is, theologize them bigger. I really like a lot of the stuff that Pastor Trey says. You can find him on Twitter. You can find him on TikTok. I was really lucky to get to be a part of the launch team for this book. I love it. Pharmacopoeia, I never say that the right way, by Dale Pendle. We're talking about herbs, we're talking about devotion, mysticism, actually engaging with plants and plant spirits, understanding the ways that we've wronged them, understanding the ways that they've been industrialized. So many things. This is in Spanish. I am still working through it. This is about leukemia. So anyway. About the Sibyls, okay? About the Sibyls. Challenge your understanding. Engage with the material on purpose. It helps you be a better person. It helps you be a more knowledgeable person. It helps you be a fuller person. It helps you engage with others with compassion and love. And it really powers your devotional work. Mwah. I love you guys.